part of the bowel actually comes out of your back passage.
It's embarrassing more than anything else because you're kind of leaving bits of your skin everywhere.
If I had one wish in our world, it would be my hair would go back.
Cocooned in their luxury alpine spa in the care of global experts in alternative health, our 7 sufferers underwent a comprehensive body, mind and even spirit detoxification.
One of the key principles of naturopathy or natural healing is that the body has its ability to heal itself, and all that we do really in the whole detox process, whether it's mind, body, spirit orientated, is allow for the environment for that to happen.
Each individual is now potentially much closer to a life free from embarrassing illness, whether it's irritable bowel, severe psoriasis or adult acne. Can they continue their healing beyond the spa of embarrassing illnesses?
How's everyone feeling? Excited about going home?
Departure day has dawned bright and clear, a good omen perhaps for the future. And there's even a present.
Isn't that lovely?
Thank you very much.
As well as hopefully taking away the tools to continue their healing, the detoxers get to take away some of Léger's locally sourced produce.
That's not all.
Even a little decadence is allowed.
I bet they're going to have room in their bag for these. Just to show it's not all about detox. Handmade chocolates.
Yeah, they are made by our local chocolatier, and it's like 71% black dark chocolate with praline in the middle. Praline? Yeah.
Do not eat them all on the way back home.
But even the gifts contain a lesson. Goat's cheese is an alternative for the lactose intolerant. Dark chocolate is healthier than milk chocolate.
And finally, we've got some fresh honey.
And the nutritionist would prefer honey was used as a sweetener over chemically refined white sugar.
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
But the nutritional re-education symbolised by today's gifts is not the only thing the detoxers are taking away.
I think I'm somebody to be proud of, but I also feel like I'm on the way to being even more different. I think there's a lot of changes to come for me.
However, it's at home where the biggest challenges lie.
Absolutely, there are worries about going back and that you could just so quickly slip into the same old routine.
I'm a little bit worried that my expectations might be a little bit too high when I go home.
There's just a little iota of me that's not quite there.
I think it's very hard when you've had an illness for such a long period of time to go home 100% thinking that it's completely cleared.
The biggest lesson for them really is that they need to take responsibility for themselves and be a bit proactive about their own health and well-being. If they don't go home and be proactive about what we've told them, then they're their own worst enemy, quite frankly, because they have come here with an embarrassing illness that was ruining their life, and they've gone home changed and transformed, and it is up to them and only them to keep that going.
4 months ago, in the hope of curing their respective embarrassing illnesses, 7 Brits spent 2 weeks in the French Alps learning how everything from nutrition to suppressed emotions could impact on their physical well-being. But that was only the start of their healing journey.
Really, the biggest challenge is actually not at the spa, it's when they go home, and that's what they've got to face. And it can be a challenge, it can be a bit of a rocky road, but they have to take those lessons on and integrate them into their lives to get real long-term results.
It's in the long term that 43-year-old Kathy must focus to see improvement in her embarrassing condition. But for the community nursing matron, the Alpine Detox was also a chance to address her self-confidence, which was close to zero pre-spa.
I have this facade, and I don't think I have, but everybody says I have, of being confident, I know what I'm doing.
but inside I'm absolutely eating up. I just feel terrible. Why would anybody like me? I just don't feel good about myself at all.
Severe alopecia was a major contributor to Kathy's self-loathing. With barely half a head of hair and no eyelashes or eyebrows, she hid her shame with expensive wigs and resorted to painful tattooing for eye definition. Only at the spa was Kathy able to admit how devastated she was by her extreme hair loss.
It made me so depressed. I probably would have ended my life if I hadn't have had Rachel as a baby.
But Kathy also arrived in the Alps with another reason to feel self-conscious. She was born with Klippel-Trenaunay syndrome, a congenital circulatory disorder manifesting as limb enlargement on her right side.
I remember thinking, oh, these aren't normal, and I had a pair of scissors. And I was trying to cut them off.
To begin any healing, the holistic approach at the spa meant Kathy had to be encouraged to release all the emotional anguish attached to feeling abnormal and unworthy.
That feels better.
The therapist believed greater confidence was always going to be a big factor in Kathy's healing. So it was a major turning point when, during an outing to Evian, she felt able to appear without her wig in public for the first time ever.
You're just in a whole different world right now.
4 months on, she's not yet ready to put the wig aside forever. But with far greater confidence and self-belief, Kathy is no longer so obsessed with trying to hide her alopecia.
Before I went to the spa, I never ever spoke about it, ever. Obviously to my daughter, to my then partner, mum and dad, but no doubts. My friend Bridget never told, but I knew she knew, but it was never spoken about.
The new post-spa Kathy now has the courage to be more open about her hair loss. So best friend Bridget is top of the list.
It just really annoyed me that we would go away for weekends and stay in a hotel and I'd have to get out and wash my hair and dry it in the morning, and you didn't.
Yeah, man. So do you want to see me without my
If you want to do it.
I don't mind, because everybody, one of the things on the spa, everybody said, oh, you've got some hair. I have got some hair, but not a huge amount, and it's sort of, but I'm hoping it'll grow back, so, but if I take it off, there we go. So I have.
You're still the same.
I know, and it's like, oh, Bridget.
As well as being more open, Kathy is being extremely proactive and giving her body every chance to regenerate her hair.
I take L-tyrosine 2 or 3 times a day, and it's an amino acid which helps to build proteins, which hopefully will build hair. I take ginkgo biloba, which increases the blood supply to the head, so I'm hoping increase the blood supply to the head, the hair will grow. I also take zinc, which is the most important thing, because the people with alopecia are found to be really deficient in zinc, so I take 6 zinc tablets a day.
She's eating more healthily too, but nutritional changes are not the only ones Kathy has made. She's no longer with her partner of 4 years.
I was thinking in my relationship I wasn't happy. I'd just settled for somebody that wanted me, really, rather than somebody I wanted. So we had a long talk and we decided to go our own ways. And so we're in the process of separating at the minute, but I feel really good about that. And since I've come back from the spa as well, I'm doing so much more. I've started a reflexology course, I'm doing psychic development course, I've started Pilates, and I'm out nearly all the time.
And have changes in her life, diet and outlook yet made any difference to her hair?
Initially my relationship broke up and we were selling the house. I had a little bit of hair loss, but since then it's grown back. My eyelashes are growing back and my eyebrows are growing back. And I feel like the new confident me will be the springboard for my hair growing back, because I feel like it's all about me, and I know it's me that is the only person that can make it grow back, and I feel so good at the moment.
Kathy has got a great positive mental attitude. She really believes in herself. She believes in her body's ability to heal. And when you put that side by side, her nutritional changes, which are feeding the body and allowing it to heal itself, it all really bodes well for long-term success for Kathy, and I think she's going to see the results she's looking for.
I feel like now I'm starting again, and I feel like I'm going to be in control of my life. I'm going to, determine my destiny.
Taking control of her destiny and moving beyond the limitations of her health was something 27-year-old Pip also hoped she'd get from her spa experience. But her detox journey wasn't always easy.
By the end of it, I'd surprised myself that I'd done as much as I did. So I look back on it now and I think to myself, well, I've done it then, so I can do it now.
Pre-spa, Pip was becoming increasingly reluctant to even leave her house, hostage to virtually daily attacks from her unpredictable bowels.
I see my home both as a sanctuary and a prison. It's the place that I always want to be because it's the place I feel most comfortable. But it does tend to feel a bit like you're locked up behind closed doors when everybody else is going on and getting on with things.
Once in France, despite her fears of an embarrassing accident, she managed to participate in some of the group's early alpine challenges. And early treatment seemed to do some good.
I feel really good at the moment.
Great.
Really positive.
But Pip continued to remain fearful of being too far from a familiar toilet, and she often struggled with the spa's mind-body connection theories.
Visualise yourself without not being in your life at all.
Hard though.
The power of the mind is huge, so here it's going to fix down there.
A final mind detox session with Sandy.
Scared of having an accident?
Scared of having an accident.
Led to a late breakthrough.
Wouldn't matter if I did.
Wouldn't matter if I did.
Just clean up and move on with my life.
Just clean up and move on with my life.
And Pip was ultimately able to leave the spa on several occasions without drama. But back home in Dorset, there are no therapists on hand to administer emotional freedom technique. So how free is Pip now from the anxiety so closely linked to her irritable bowel?
I think I am calmer in myself. I still do get a bit panicky at times, but I've sort of overcome it quite a lot since I've been back. I think psychologically I feel stronger in myself now than what I did before I went.
And to help herself on a physical level, Pip's made big dietary changes post-detox.
The food that I'm eating is totally different now to what it was before. I've cut out a lot of meats and dairies and a lot of the wheat that I used to eat, which they recommended sort of we reduce as much as possible.
However, despite her changes, Pip's not claiming complete success yet.
The IBS has definitely improved. I wouldn't say that I'm cured and that I'm never going to suffer from any problems ever again, but I've definitely seen an improvement, and I think the people around me have seen an improvement as well. I'm actually getting out a bit more and enjoying a bit more of life rather than being stuck at home and limited to what I can do.
Any chronic condition can be difficult to break out of. Even when you support the body physically and it starts to heal itself, there's that mental counterpart which kind of is attached to the illness. And with Pip, I definitely feel that she needs to step into her new reality and really use some of the tools, as in things like relaxation, which has such a big impact on the digestion and can really alleviate the problem. But she needs to grasp that and really begin to utilise it.
She may have further to go for a completely IBS-free future, but Pip is now far more able to enjoy the present.
I've gone out for meals since I've been back, which is something that I wouldn't have done prior to going, because everything I used to eat would automatically affect me straight away. Going out with friends a bit more frequently than I used to. Even little things like the fact that I'm walking a lot more now. I wouldn't really want to leave the house unless I was driving anywhere, and I've been enjoying that. I take my niece out and about walking. I mean, to actually just be out of the house is amazing for me.
Up to 1 in 5 Brits' lives can be affected by irritable bowel syndrome. Pip's fellow detoxer Samara also arrived at the spa with a condition labelled IBS. But she was at the other end of the spectrum, with severe constipation possibly causing frequent migraines and also the extremely embarrassing problem of episodic rectal prolapse.
Part of the bowel actually comes out of your back passage. I have to laugh because it's so awful, but it's like a sausage, if you like, that and I basically have to breathe in and pull everything back again.
While the prolapse fortunately never put in an appearance during the detox process, the migraine certainly did.
At home, when I speak to my mum, this is what we call a humdinger.
At the spa, the holistic approach meant any emotional as well as physical blocks had to be addressed. And as the detox process began to unlock some of Samara's suppressed feelings, so too did it begin to unblock her congested colon.
I do strongly believe that by getting rid of everything in my tummy, it's relieving any pressure, which makes sense really. If you're not going to the toilet, the pressure in the bowel is pushing down, so that's why sometimes it dropped.
Like Pip, Samara was also sometimes challenged by all the outdoor activity.
My stomach, I'll tell you what, if I don't go to the toilet tonight.
But after 2 weeks was far lighter in both body and mind.
It's interesting actually, because I hadn't considered the mind side of a detox at all before going. I'd thought about the food aspect, and I thought that was the main focus, but actually it was very evenly balanced between the two. So that was a real eye-opener for me. It did have a positive effect in that way, making you more aware of your emotions and, to, if you can, to be positive.
So with her new awareness of the mind-body connection, have Samara's physical woes now taken a positive turn? The migraines were the most debilitating of the admin assistant's catalogue of health complaints.
Before I went away, the problem had got particularly bad, so I suppose I was suffering sort of three to four times a week with migraine. It really was, you know, sort of taking my life over. Whereas now, when things are going well, you know, a week goes by and I'm fine. But even if it's gone from 3 or 4 times a week to once a week, to me that's an improvement that I'm happy with.
And greatly improved bowel function as well means Samara no longer needs to feel anxious about the most embarrassing side effect of her chronic constipation.
I would say if your bowel is functioning properly as it should, it wouldn't happen. And as that's improved, the problem's gone away. So, yeah, I'm really pleased to say we don't need to talk about that anymore.
So with Samara, a little bit more focus, a little bit more intention on some of the advice that we gave her, and she can get rid of the migraines. But the biggest win for her really is that we helped her get rid of the constipation, which then took away the problem of the prolapsed bowel, which was a deeply embarrassing condition, and so that's a huge result.
And while Samara knew she had numerous health issues to address, Juliet thought she only had one.
I was thinking I'm going to get a cure for my acne. I wasn't even thinking about the dirt problem.
The 40-year-old had spent 7 years battling ferocious facial acne before arriving at the spa. She'd been relying on antibiotics to reduce the inflammation and masking her scarred and angry skin with hair and makeup. But even so, her self-confidence was in tatters.
I just feel I look awful and I don't want to go out with it.
But in the Alps, it transpired that it wasn't just shame over her acne which made Juliet often reluctant to leave the house.
Everybody that knows me knows I have an issue about everything being dirty.
And the outdoor component of her alpine spa experience meant she was continually confronted with her fears.
I really couldn't relax in the field. That was the absolute worst situation for me. And the scenery was beautiful, but I was just thinking I need to go home. So when it came out, it was a bit of a relief for it to come out and that there was going to be help.
Because of her dirt phobia, she was continually stressed. Many times in a day, she'd be in that anxious fight or flight state. That hinders healing. That will have prevented her body actually sorting itself out.
Therapy sessions help pinpoint a potential source of the phobia.
Kids would say, "You're dirty. You know, you didn't have a bath or you didn't have a wash."
Because of the colour of your skin.
Yeah.
And gradually Juliet reached the extraordinary point where she was actually able to don a wetsuit worn and potentially soiled by others.
Sure somebody ain't done a wee in it.
To go river rafting. Juliet's now making the most of the nutritional and spiritual education gained at the spa.
If I get where I'm starting to feel anxious again and I'm thinking, oh, I'm getting stressed out, I'm going to get spots and, you know, everything's going to go wrong, that's how I feel. I tend to remove myself from the situation and sort of try and have a peaceful moment and think about some of the things that was said at the spa. It's not completely gone. I mean, I do still look at places and think, It's not as clean as I would want it to be, but I know that it's not going to harm me, and everybody around me knows, you know, I'm dealing with it in a positive way.
And working through her dirt phobia has seen a corresponding positive result in terms of both skin and confidence.
Even though my skin isn't 100% clear, I'm comfortable within myself to be out with my face. You know, it's like I don't feel I have to hide my face anymore. I've accepted this is what my face is like, this is what my skin's like. And now I just think, put my hair back, no makeup, and this is how I am, and I'm comfortable with how I am.
As well as being more comfortable in her skin, Juliet feels better in her body, thanks to changes to her diet recommended by the Detox team.
I don't eat wheat, cow's milk, eggs. We all, as a family, have goat's milk now. Most of our vegetables, if not all of it, fruit and veg, it's organic.
And the spelt bread she learnt to make in France now features regularly on the menu for Juliet and family.
I like Mummy's homemade bread.
But as well as his mother's bread, 7-year-old Miles also gets to enjoy her company in a whole new way.
Her story wasn't just about herself, it was also about her son, and she was deeply concerned about passing on her phobia to her son. Now that she's overcome that phobia, she's able to be a completely different mum and able to take part in life in a way that she didn't before, which is so wonderful.
4 months after doing a major emotional and physical detox at a luxury alpine spa in France, 7 Brits are revealing how the experience has affected their embarrassing illnesses and their outlook on life.
It was a bit like somebody had sort of done some hypnosis on me or something, because when I came back it felt like my mind and the way I thought about stuff had actually changed.
Something definitely had to change in Claire if she was ever to conquer her humiliating health problems. Every month, the yoga teacher and massage therapist would experience intense premenstrual tension, causing violent mood changes and unpredictable energy levels. And her hormonal hell also had to be endured by her husband.
Yeah, it's not nice to see. It looks like something's just turned her inside out, made her, changes her completely.
And Chris has been standing there like, whoa, no, scary. She's just completely gone off the scale.
Her precarious energy levels became evident at the spa even before the cleansing juice fast began. And the therapists had to add extra nutrients to stabilise her.
It smells vile.
Oh, I really like it. Most obviously, when I came back, my energy levels were so much better. That there was just a sort of a consistency, I was much more on an even keel rather than feeling like I was so fluctuating in the way I was, which is how it was before.
And nutritional lessons learned during the detox have stayed with her.
Probably the main things that I've done for my diet is just making sure that I eat really regularly. I mean, rather embarrassingly, I've got little timers that go off on my phone that say, eat now, because I will forget.
There's many factors in PMS, and we really saw with Claire that the blood sugar balancing aspect of it was really key. But also she's become more grounded. One thing that Claire came to us with was quite a sort of headstrong, air-like, you know, a little bit up here. And she's really grounded herself through a lot of the lessons she'd taken from Natalia, for example, with some of the spiritual side of things. Her eating is also helping her body stay in a much more stable position.
Because an holistic detox is as much about dealing with any unhealthy emotions as it is addressing physical imbalances, both mind and spirit therapies helped Claire address any suppressed and negative emotions potentially contributing to her PMS irrationality.
It felt like the stuff I used to say to my mum when I was a teenager.
And even symbolically release them. And she now appreciates the value of maintaining a relationship with Mother Nature.
I recognised when I was away that the connection with nature was really important for sort of calming you, for putting things in perspective, for meditational stuff, tuning into yourself. And so I went out onto the flats and I was doing more walking over the Wanstead flats next to where I live, and I hoping that I'd still get some sort of connection. You know, it's not the same as the Alps, but I found that I did. As you're talking to your unconscious mind, then thoughts float up and you think, okay, yeah. It's just about giving yourself, I think, the time and the space to sort of connect with yourself, because you so often can just go around in your life doing so much, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and you just don't really realise that you're neglecting yourself and maybe others as well, because of, you know, the fact that you're not giving enough to yourself, you can't then give to others. So.
And it's not just the connection between herself and nature which has improved since the spa.
Relationships have got better because I'm more laid back about stuff and I'm probably coming across as a lot less tense.
So has the PMS been banished for good?
I think no more scary Clary, that's, you know, what I think, but again, you'll have to ask Chris on that. I mean, everyone, you know, we have had, this is not to say we haven't had rows, but I don't think it's been PMS fueled, really.
No, I don't have to batten down the hatches or prepare myself or tread on eggshells anymore. You almost, I only know that it's the time because I've been told.
That's why I started writing it down for you on the fridge, so you know.
I was worried. I was supposed to be planning a holiday for when Claire got back, and I was nervous to the point that I hadn't had the chance to do it and couldn't think straight with it, and thought that when she got back there may be some arguments as such with that, but she came back and said, well, you know, well, let's just go down the travel agents and see what they've got, and, you know, see what they like, and we'll grab it. And you think, blimey, where'd that come from, you know?
One of the best things about Detox is that the results of this don't just impact the one person, they impact their family. And with Claire, her husband no longer has to walk on eggshells. I mean, the sheer fact that he doesn't know if she's on her period or not, or doesn't know what time in the cycle it is remarkable compared to how he was living his life before. And so it's really wonderful all round.
It was profound and it was life-changing. There's no pretension in that, it really was.
So Claire seems impressed by her spa experience. But what of Nicola? Perhaps the most sceptical of the group. The single mother of two was suffering with interstitial cystitis, or IC, a chronic inflammation of the bladder lining. Nicola experienced extreme pain and discomfort and had been told by the conventional medical profession that there was no cure.
When you hear there's no cure, you know, you just go into a blind panic and you just think, and to be honest, I did think, well, I can't live like this.
But as distressing as such a prognosis was, the professional nurse seemed to have taken on board the no-cure belief, leaving the holistic health therapist wondering why she had chosen to come to the spa.
Nicola, when she came here, talked about her desire being to put IC on the map. And I asked her, I said, what was your reason for coming here? Was it to put IC on the map, or was it to get better? Was it to heal yourself? And her answer was fascinating. All that she said was, that's a very good question.
For her part, Nicola felt her dietary needs weren't being addressed in France.
The food I've been eating here, I know it's just making me worse at the moment, and I don't want it to be worse.
But the therapist was shocked at the limited diet of chicken, rice, peas and prawns that Nicola had adopted in a bid to control her symptoms.
We've got to change that for the future. Yes. We have got to change that.
Yeah.
And despite Nicola's scepticism that the mind and body detox regime was going to help her, at times she did feel both physical and mental benefits.
The wee I had sort of after the hot room, steam room, was probably the best wee I've had.
A really good flow.
It was a proper wee.
It's the first time you've said to me that you have no pain.
Yeah.
So that's huge breakthrough.
And looking back, was the experience overall worthwhile for the IC sufferer?
I would never do it again, but I'm glad I did it. I do feel a lot happier in myself now than when I was in France. I think the thing with IC is when the symptoms are bad, it changes your personality altogether. I feel very neurotic and anxious and uptight and what have you. So you just don't feel happy. It does rule your life. Now that my IC symptoms have died down, I feel just, I don't know, liberated, I suppose.
But what does Nicola believe has contributed to her greatly reduced symptoms?
I'm still taking painkillers, but a lot less, and I'm still taking a lot of drugs, but they're obviously now all kicking in, because the problem with IC is it takes a good 6 months for things to actually, tablets that you're on, to start to work.
However, that said, Nicola does allow that some of the things she learned in France have been of benefit.
I understand that they wanted to improve my diet, and certainly I've taken that on board, and I do understand that what I was eating was nutritionally very, very poor, which in its turn wouldn't allow my body to heal itself. So yes, I do appreciate that, and I have gone along with that. So I have tried to increase the vegetable intake in my bodies, and various supplements and wheatgrass and what have you.
Given her reaction to wheatgrass in France, it's quite a turn-up for the books that Nicola's continuing with it.
I'll tell you what it tastes like is when you've mowed the grass and you get all the grass in the bucket thing. It just tastes like eating a handful of that, if you can imagine that.
So despite the nurse's initial attitude, Detox director Amanda feels the spa has been an important step.
Nicola came on this experience wanting to put IC on the map, and I for one hope that she's got an awful lot more out of it than just that. I know that she drinks wheatgrass now, which is fantastic. Her diet's improved. She's got more in her diet now, more nutrition in her diet. She does yoga more often. So she's really taken a lot of the lessons that she learned at the spa and translated them into something real. I know that she's working hand in hand with conventional medicine at the same time. Holistically, we would always look to find a natural answer if possible. I mean, the fact is, Nicola is a very determined person. She's able to focus. So if she really puts her mind to this and keeps progressing and kind of lets go of the past, I think she's got a great future.
Whether it's got anything to do with the spa or not, I'm certainly a lot better now, which is wonderful.
While Nicola's health problem was very much an internal issue, 30-year-old Will's was external. Under his clothes was the embarrassment of severe psoriasis, a skin condition where excessive cells are produced, causing unsightly, itchy and flaky patches. It had reached virtually every area of his body.
You try and keep your hair short, but it's always a balance between being embarrassed about it and trying to help it.
When he arrived at the spa, the successful and driven sound engineer didn't seem fazed by the fact that he was the only male member of the group. But it soon transpired that his calm, relaxed demeanour was not necessarily the real Will.
Concealed inside it's made out of like a load of elastic bands, which is, I suppose, how I feel a lot of the time, quite nervous. Yet a lot of people see me as quite a calm, confident person.
And because stress is a known trigger for psoriasis, 2 weeks at a luxury spa in the restorative mountain air were always going to make a difference to his skin.
It's really progressing. It's getting so much better.
But to fully heal, the holistic therapist had to find any possible lifestyle triggers.
How much do you drink?
A lot more than I should, especially in the past. I'm getting better.
What about any other recreational drugs or anything like that?
Cocaine. That was for a few years.
Although his youthful experimentation is well behind him, Will's adrenal system could still be feeling the effects. And emotional triggers were also investigated, as the holistic belief was that perhaps part of the reason his skin was inflamed was because it was trying to express what he might be suppressing.
Like, talk to this bit of psoriasis here, right? Seriously, just talk to it. Ask it, what does it want? What is it trying to tell you?
That I'm angry. I don't think it's just anger that manifests itself in a funny way. It's kind of any extreme emotion I find that I shy away from. So, and I think possibly that's something we need to work on.
That may indeed be the case, because unfortunately, Will's skin still has a lot to say.
It's now, I would say, probably a little bit worse than it was before I went. But the very fact that it cleared up while I was there is obviously an indication that there is something, you know, there is a key to clearing it up, or at least helping it clear up.
Key to clearing his skin would probably not be the major renovation schedule Will had to contend with on his return from France. Just prior to his departure, he'd bought his first home.
I came back and this house was in need of a lot of work, so I was doing that for about 2 or 3 months, just flat out rewiring, plastering, painting, decorating, building, all that kind of stuff. So it's only really quite recently that I've managed to get a bit of a routine going.
So despite improving his diet, Will's life hasn't been entirely conducive to healing his psoriasis. Aware that he'd been struggling, Detox nutritionist Karen decided to make an impromptu house call.
So you were coming back to chaos, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about other stresses in your life at that time?
Well, I mean, my mum's always on my mind. I'd say that would be a stress.
Yeah, okay.
Because she's not well.
Yeah, okay.
And work is always a stress, I think, for a lot of people. So.
You know, when you're looking at the stress, it's really about how you're actually expressing it and how you're dealing with it. Are you able to find an outlet for it? You know, talking about it, or dealing with it with another therapist, or what? If it's an ongoing thing, how is it being channeled?
I'd say it maybe isn't at the moment.
Okay, so you're kind of holding it in. Okay, your body's expressing a lot through the skin. Okay, so we need to get you really to, work on your blood sugars and supporting them and your adrenal glands a little bit, but also really importantly to really deal with a lot of these emotions, the stress that's outside of you, so we can help your body recover a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make kind of
Yeah,
sense?
absolutely
Is it something?
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and is it something that you could do?
It's something I always try and do. I'm obviously going to have to work harder at it.
But as well as learning to channel any suppressed emotions, there is one other thing Will could do to improve his body's chance of healing.
Things like alcohol really can deplete the body, so for a period of time he really has to focus on all those things to build his system back up. But I'm very confident that if he does that and follows our advice, he'll get the full results. So here's hoping he creates that space in his life for real healing.
Four months ago, 7 Brits signed up for 2 weeks at an alpine spa in a bid to rid themselves of their embarrassing illnesses. Their holistic therapies involve detoxifying not just body, but also mind and often spirit in the tranquil mountain setting.
One part of the experience that they had in France was nature, the magnificence of the Alps. And nature's a great healer. It helps you reconnect with yourself as a human being and kind of see the bigger picture, if you like. And we thought it would be really valuable a couple of months on to kind of remind them really what that felt like to be out in nature and to connect with themselves.
As the group responded so well in France to spiritual counsellor Natalia's vision quests or nature meditations, another has been organised at a West Somerset beach to reinforce lessons hopefully learned. Unfortunately, only 3 of the 7 could attend.
Even those who couldn't make it to Natalia's meditation, we all really hope that they've integrated that particular lesson back into their lives, because getting into that rested, relaxed, intuitive state is so important to let the body heal long term. It's just a fundamental to physical well-being to make sure that you do take time out and rest and relax.
Certainly, sound engineer Will is one who needs time out from the stresses of his life to continue healing his psoriasis.
I thought it would be really powerful to give yourself that moment to connect with the elements. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to call the spirit of water from the sea to come in and cleanse the chakras.
And although yoga teacher Claire's PMS almost seems to be a thing of the past, she appreciates the value of maintaining the right balance.
We're going to call upon the spirit of earth and see this white-green light coming up through your body, a soft energy rising up through your feet.
And Kathy now recognises the need to take responsibility for her health and vitality, which she believes will be the springboard for further hair growth.
And we are going to call upon the spirit of wind to ignite all that power and energy that you're calling inside.
Having hopefully connected with the elements and their inner power, And it would appear, having fortuitously summoned up some sunshine, Natalie would like Will, Kathy and Claire to spend some contemplation time alone on the beach and find a stone which they could use as a symbolic reminder.
Well, the stone, traditionally, it's symbolic of ancient memories. It was here before, you could say, before mankind. And so, as a symbol, it's symbolic of what they all have unconsciously, the power to connect with that wisdom, intuition, with the ability to make those changes in their life. They don't need to look outside, it's within themselves.
Spirit is one of those things that you really can't define, and it's certainly not our job as therapists to tell people what their spirit is or what to do about it. But it is our job to help them tap into their own inner voice, if you like, and develop their own wisdom about their body and their mind, and really tune into themselves. And that's really what the spirit element of a detox is about for me.
And in the spirit of the experience they shared in France, Will, Kathy and Claire have each also found stones for their absent friends.
Brought pips.
Lovely, let's have a look.
And of course, it has to be small. And bright. It's like the brightest one I could find because I felt like it had to be kind of full of young energy. But I think that she's learnt to kind of enjoy her life more and not let her condition stop her from doing that.
This is Nicola, and when I saw it, it reminded me of a bladder. But it was smooth, and what it felt like was that I want her to be pain-free, because I really feel if she's pain-free then everything else would fall in place. And that's really
true.
And for Samara,
wow,
I chose this one because this sort of reminded me of sort of Goldie, and Samara's such a sort of glittery person that I really, really want her to be happy.
This is for Juliet.
Wow.
Found it in the water actually. Yeah, I just thought it was really beautiful, and the colours in it smooth and gentle and solid like I see her.
And what sort of stones did those present find to represent where they themselves are at on the road to a life free from embarrassing illness?
So you chose this one for yourself. Is there any reason why you... Because it's beautiful, again, a very heart-shaped stone. White.
I was attracted, I think, probably to the oranges and the pinks in it. And I picked it up and I looked at the side and I thought, oh look, it's got blemishes. And I thought, no, that's okay.
Well, I knew that I had to go out that far. Just looking out there.
It's gorgeous.
I guess I feel like I'm on the path to knowing my direction, but I don't necessarily feel healed yet.
Yeah.
And so I suppose beforehand I'd have felt like quite a round stone, letting life wash over me, if you see what I mean. And so that's why I chose quite a pointed, directioned stone.
How interesting, it's true.
I went to the rock because I always feel like I've got to have something solid behind me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and this is a stone I chose for me, mainly because it's white, but there's still some imperfections in there, and that represents the last little bit where I still have little doubts every now and again of what I'm worth and who I am. So it's just to remind me not to have those last little doubts.
What we are really trying to do is help them to connect with their inner selves, listen to what the body's telling them, listen to what their mind is telling them, and that really stands them in really good stead for future well-being.